Hello friends, welcome back, and if you're new to our channel, thank you for stopping by. Today's video is going to be interesting, so do stay till the end. Now today I'll be showing you how we can make a beautiful handheld crochet bag, and I will be using different colored yarns, and I have already started off with a slip knot, and I am going to make chains that are required for this particular project. Now if you want a bigger bag, you have to take more number of chains, and here I would like to mention the hook size is number 10 as my yarn is a bit thick. Now I'll let you know how many chains I will be making. You have to take chains according to the size of the bag you wish to make. If you want to make the size that I am making, then you need to take 40 chains. After the 40 chain is done, I chained 2, and then into the third chain space I am going to work a double crochet. That's the first double crochet, and into the same chain space we are going to make a total of 6 double crochet. The chain of 2 is not to be counted. 3 double crochet done into the chain space. This is the fourth one. I told you we have to make 6. 1 2 3 4. Now this is the fifth, followed by the sixth. We're going to work the sixth double crochet not into the hole but just above it, so that the hole doesn't become too very big. So my sixth double crochet is done, 5 into the same space and the sixth one just above it. This we are working the base of the bag. Now please watch carefully. We are going to work 1 double crochet each into each of the chain spaces. This is my second double crochet, followed by the third, the fourth, the fifth, sixth, and so on. Into each of the chain spaces we need to work 1 double crochet, and this we are working the base of the pattern. We are going to continue working double crochet, and I'm going to show you till where we need to work this. Let us work this 1 double crochet into each chain space till the second last stitch. So this is how it looks. I have reached almost the end of the chain. Now please watch carefully. Now that's my chain, last chain. So there I am going to work my double crochet. That's the first one. Now into the same space I am going to work my second double crochet. That's the third. The fourth double crochet into the same chain space, followed by the fifth into the same chain space, and finally we are going to work our sixth double crochet into the same chain space. Once the sixth double crochet is done, now we are going to continue working 1 double crochet into each of the chain spaces. Actually this is the back side where we had worked double crochet, 1 double crochet in each of the chain space. That is the other side, and this is the back side where we are working 1 double crochet into each of the chain spaces. And one thing we have to be careful, that is the double crochets that are being worked on both the sides should be of equal numbers. So it's better we keep a track of the number of double crochets that we worked on the other side. So here I am almost at the end, still working my double crochets. So my final double crochet is done. So this is how it looks. Now I would like to tell you one thing here. The double crochets that has been worked has to be of equal size, equal numbers, on both the sides. We have to slip stitch into the chain of the very first double crochet. So that is done. So our very first round is complete. Now let us start the next round with a chain of 2, which will not be counted, and into the first set of 6 double crochet that we had worked, we are going to work 2 double crochet into 1 chain. If you remember, we had worked 6 double crochet into the same space. Now again, that's the second. Now this is the third chain where we are going to work 2 number of double crochet. Now into the next chain space we are going to work 2 double crochet. Into the next, again let's work 2 number of double crochet, and let's see, now that's the final chain space where we need to work 2 double crochet. That means we have completed working 2 double crochet in all the 6 chain spaces. Now after that, into the new chain space we are just going to work individual double crochet as how we had done in the previous round. So let's continue working double crochet into each of the individual spaces till we are near to that point where we had worked 6 double crochet into the same chain space. Now that's the beginning, and into the chain space we are going to work 2 double crochet as we had done in the other side. That's the first. This is the second batch, second chain where we just work 2 double crochet. This is the third one where we need to work 2 double crochet. That's the fourth one where 2 double crochet is being worked. So what we did is we need to work 2 double crochet in this 6 chain spaces of the previous round. Now we have finished working that. Now into the individual chain spaces we are going to work individual double crochet. That is what has to be done. So this is my second round, which has almost come to an end. Need to work a few double crochets into individual chain spaces. That's it. Now that's the final one, and now that's the chain 2 space. And what we are going to do is we are going to slip stitch into the very first double crochet and not into the chain 2 space. So our second round also has come to an end. This is how our base of the bag looks. Now I have just slip stitched. After that I chained 2. Let's add one more chain, so that makes 3, which will be counted as 1 double crochet. Another double crochet into the next chain space, which is followed by a chain of 2. Let's skip 2 chain spaces, and into the next let's work 1 double crochet followed by another double crochet. The pattern is starting from this round. Now let's chain 2, skip 2 chain spaces, and into the next let's work a double crochet followed by another double crochet into the chain space next to it. Now let's chain 2 again, skip 2 chain spaces, and into the next chain space let's work a double crochet followed by another double crochet into the next chain space. Let's chain 2 again, skip 2 chain spaces, and work a double crochet into the next one followed by a double crochet into the chain space next to it. This is the starting of our pattern. I chained 2, skipped 2 chain spaces, and I'm working 2 double crochet into individual chain spaces. Again chain 2, skip 2 chain spaces, and work double crochet into individual chain spaces. That is how it is to be done. We have already started working the side for her bag. This I have zoomed in. I think it will be easier for you to understand now. Let's chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 chain spaces into the next, work 1 double crochet followed by another double crochet into the next chain space. Chain 2, skip 2 chain spaces, and work 1 double crochet followed by another double crochet into the next chain space. Let us chain 2 again, skip 2 chain spaces, and I just work a double crochet. I have no more chains there, so I am going to leave it that way. Now I'm showing you how we are going to introduce a new yarn. See, my new yarn is ready with a slip knot. We are going to pull it through and again pull through. So that is how it is done. We are going to slightly pull both the yarns so that the stitches fall in place. This step is crucial. Let us chain 3. If you pull the old yarn, that is the yellow yarn, slightly, you will see that our new stitch is going to fall into place. Now we are going to start off with a pattern. We are going to work right into the chain spaces below the chain 2 space. Then after that I chained 2 and into the space below the chain of 2. We need to work 2 number of double crochet into individual chain spaces. This is how it looks. Now let's chain 2 again, and into the first chain space I'm going to work 1 double crochet. Into the next I am going to work another double crochet. So this is how our pattern is looking. Let's chain 2. Nothing to panic if you don't understand. It is very easy. Just keep watching. Let's continue by making a chain of 2, and then we skip 2 chain spaces, and into the next we are going to work individual double crochet. This is how it is to be done. It is going to be a very colorful bag. You should try this. Let us chain 2, skip those 2 chain spaces, and into the next we are going to work individual double crochet. That's the first one, followed by the second double crochet. Now let us chain 2, skip 2 chain spaces, and into the next we are going to work 1 double crochet, followed by another double crochet in the next chain space. Now let us chain 2 again and work our double crochets into individual chain spaces. So basically this is how the pattern is to be. This is the side of the bag. and we are going to work all around. So here I am almost at the end. I just chained 2. I'm working my individual double crochet into individual chain spaces. That's the second one. Now please watch carefully. That's the point where we had started. Now let us chain 2, and now we are going to change our yarn color. So I have passed my hook into the chain 2 space, pulling my hook through it, again pulling my hook through the other stitch. So that is how it looks. Now let's pull the yarns slightly so that it falls in space. I just chained 2. That is not to be counted. Now into the chain spaces just below it, I am working 1 double crochet, and into the next chain space another double crochet. So this is my new round. Now let's chain 2, skip chain 2 space, and into the chain, that's the yellow one, where we are going to work 1 double crochet followed by another double crochet in the next chain space. This is how the pattern is. Let us chain 2, skip 2 chain spaces, and just below it we have the chain spaces where we need to work our double crochet. Let us chain 2, skip the chain 2 spaces, and into the next chain we are going to work 1 double crochet, and into the next another double crochet. Let's chain 2. It's a very easy pattern. Skip the chain 2 space, and into the chain we are going to work 1 double crochet followed by another double crochet into the next chain space. Now chain 2 again, and just below there into the chain space we are going to work 1 double crochet followed by another double crochet in the next chain space. See how pretty it looks. Now let's chain 2 again and work 1 double crochet into the chain space followed by another double crochet in the chain space beside it. Let's chain 2, and into the chain spaces we are going to work individual double crochet. It is a very easy pattern, perfect for bags, and you can use this pattern for making cushion covers as well. It is also going to come out really well. Now let's work all around till we reach the starting point. The hook size that I am using is number 10, if I haven't mentioned earlier. Sorry for that. Now I just worked 2 double crochet into individual chain spaces. Now I chained 2. Now we are going to change our yarn color. Please watch carefully. In goes the hook. My slip knot is ready with a new colored yarn. That's the hook. Now there it goes. That's the chain 2 space. Now attach the new yarn, pull it through, and again pull it through, so that it is. Now slightly we need to pull both the yarns so that our stitches fall in place. So chain of 2 is done, which will not be counted. Now into let us see where we can work. I added 1 more stitch, that is I worked a chain of 3 because we need to jump to this point, and there in the individual chain spaces I am going to work 1 double crochet each. Now let us chain 2 and again hop into the chain space and work 1 double crochet each. Actually the process is same again chain 2, and we need to work a double crochet into the chain spaces that are under the chain of 2. Now let's chain 2 again, and there into the chain spaces we need to work individual double crochet. Let us chain 2 again, skip 2 chain spaces, and into the chain space we need to work 1 double crochet each. So this is how our pattern looks, and we are going to continue working in the similar fashion till we reach the end of this row. Now let's chain 2, and into the first chain I'm working my double crochet, into the next I'm working my second double crochet. Now we have reached the starting point. See what is to be done. I put my hook there, and now we are going to change color. So I am pulling my pink yarn through it. Slightly we need to pull the green yarn also, so that our pink stitches fall in place. I chained 2, see this is how the pattern looks. I chained 2 there because we will be working 2 double crochet here. That's the first double crochet, and this is the second double crochet. The chain of 2 is not to be counted. Now let's chain 2 and hop into the chain spaces that are available between below the chain 2, and work individual double crochet into individual chain spaces. Now again I chained 2, and into the chain space below the chain of 2 I am working my double crochets. Again chain 2, let's skip the chain 2 space, and into the next space we are going to work individual double crochets into individual chain spaces. So this is how the pattern is to be worked, and you can work your desired length that you wish to have for your bag. The color of the bag is looking very beautiful. This is the side of the bag. That's the color combination that I have used, and I have worked. Now the rows that I have worked are about 5 or 6. Now it is up to you. It is not mandatory that you have to make the number of rows that I have worked. You can increase your number of rows. Now I'm working my double crochet, individual double crochet into individual chain spaces, and I am near my starting point. Now I will be introducing my yellow yarn again, so I am ready with the slip knot. Let us pass the hook through the chain 2 space that we had worked, and then attach a new yarn, and then I am going to pull my new yarn through the stitches. So that is done. We are slightly going to pull both our yarns, the old yarn that we were using as well as the new yarn, the yellow here, and then slightly pull the green one so that the stitches fall in place. I just chained 2. After that I am going to work individual double crochet into individual chain spaces there. The chain of 2 is not to be counted, it is to be ignored. That's the first double crochet I worked. This is the second double crochet that I am working into my individual chain space. Now let us chain 2, 1 and 2, and then jump into the first chain space where we are going to work 1 double crochet, and then into the next chain space where we are going to work another double crochet. The pattern is same, just that there is a change in the color. Now let us work 1 double crochet into the individual chain space, followed by the second double crochet in the next chain space. Now let us chain 2 and work 1 double crochet into individual chain space, followed by another double crochet into the next chain space. And so we are going to continue working in the similar fashion. Now I will not be using my pink and the green yarn, so I snip off the yarn and we can just tie it here, or we can use a tapestry needle. Now I am going to continue with my yellow yarn. I chained 2 and then into the stitch or chain space just below the chain of 2 we need to work 1 double crochet followed by another double crochet into the next chain space. So this is how the pattern continues. Let us chain 2 and just below the chain 2 space we need to work 1 double crochet followed by another double crochet into the next chain space. Let us chain 2 and then again let us work 1 double crochet followed by another individual double crochet into the next chain space. Then I chained 2 again, and into the individual chain spaces we need to work individual double crochet. So this is how it is to be worked. The pattern is same. We are just going to continue working all around, and I'm going to catch up with you once I reach the starting point. So here I am at the starting point. I chained 2 and then let us slip stitch into the space that is available between the chain of 2 and the first double crochet. Now I slip stitch into the first chain of my first double crochet and worked a chain of 3, and beside that I just worked 1 double crochet. Now chain 2 again, and then let's work double crochet into each of the standing double crochet of the previous round. Chain 2 and into the chain space just above the double crochet we need to work 2 double crochet. Now let us chain 2 again, and then on top of the double crochets we are going to work individual double crochets. This is how the pattern is going to continue. Here there is a slight change in the pattern that you will get to know. So let us continue working. And I am almost, actually I am near the starting point. Now let us chain 2. I'm going to show you what is to be done. Now into the first chain of 3 we are going to slip stitch into the topmost chain. So here I do a slip stitch. So this is how our pattern is going to look now. Then I'm going to show you how the handle is also to be worked. Now I chained 3 and then into the chain space beside it I worked a double crochet. I chained 2 and then I'm going to hop into the next chain 2 space where we are going to work individual double crochets on top of individual chain spaces. Then I chained 2 and here again I'm working individual double crochet on top of the double crochets of the previous round, and I have worked about 3 rows of this pattern. This is how it looks. Now it is up to you how much you want to work. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to work 2 rows or 3 rows or 5 rows. You can work your desired length, and here this is the length that I wish to have for my bag. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rows I have worked. Now here I am working my individual double crochet on top of individual chain space. That is done. Now let's chain 2 and slip stitch into the topmost chain of the very first chain of 3. So my slip stitch is done. Now I chain 1, which will not be counted as a stitch, and then I worked a single crochet into the chain space, followed by another single crochet in the next chain space. Now that's the chain of 2, so we are going to work 2 number of single crochet. The chain 1 is not to be counted. Now let us continue working single crochet into each of the chain spaces. Very easy and simple. In the chain of 2 we are going to work 2 number of single crochet. That is all we have to remember. Other than that, into each of the chain spaces we are just working a single crochet. Here there is a change in the pattern. A single crochet into each of the chain spaces. Now to be on the safer side, we can attach a marker where we had worked our first single crochet. That is the chain of 1, which will not be counted, and this is our very first single crochet. So I'm going to attach a marker there and just tie a thread there so that we can understand that's the starting point. After that, I am going to continue working single crochet into each of the chain spaces, and into the chain 2 space we are going to work 2 number of single crochet. So this is how it is to be worked, and we need to work in this similar fashion all around our bag. Now regarding the length, the size of the bag, you can choose your own size for the bag. And here we are almost at the starting point. I'm still working my single crochet into individual chain spaces, and into the chain 2 space I just worked 2 single crochet. Now I removed my stitch marker. That's the chain of 1, and that's a chain of 1, and into the very first single crochet we do a slip stitch. Now let us chain 1 again, which will not be counted, and into the first chain space I just worked my single crochet, and then I am going to continue working single crochet into each of the chain spaces. So we are going to continue working single crochet for some time. Now let's attach a marker again to be on the safer side. That's my first single crochet, so here I am attaching the marker. Now here I am working my single crochet into each of the single crochets of the previous round, and that's the starting point where I have attached the stitch marker. Now we have to be a bit careful because I'm going to show you how we are going to make the handles after working this particular round. So basically what we did is, after our pattern completed, we worked 2 rounds of single crochet. This is my second round of single crochet. I am almost at the starting point. Now we are going to remove our stitch marker and then slip stitch into the very first single crochet. Right now I'm going to show you how we are going to work our handle. So let us continue working single crochet again, and I'm going to show you the position where our handle is to be worked. As we are working close to the side of the bag, I am working my single crochet. So this is the bag Now let's count where we are going to place our handle. Roughly I'm going to place it there, 1, 2 and 3 into the third pillar of double crochets. So let's put a marker there so that we remember we need to stop there and work our handle, otherwise we will just keep working single crochet. And here I am working my single crochet, and I am going to work that till I am close to my point where I had put a marker. That's the point where we need to work our handle. Still some more chains to be worked. And here too you can just position your bag and just mark where your handle is to be worked, and then we are going to continue here with the handle. Now I have already reached the point as I told you earlier, and here I am working my chain that is necessary for the handle. Now this is a handheld bag, so the number of chain does not have to be too long, so that is how the handle is to work, but this is too short, so I need to add some more chains. Adding chains to my handle. Well, I think more chains need to be added. Let's work by adding some more chains, and now I have already worked 70 chains in total, and I think this is perfect. Now that's the point where we are going to attach our handle, so there we work a single crochet. So that's the length of the handle, and I think that's perfect for a handheld bag. And now it's very simple again, working single crochet, individual single crochet into each of the chain spaces. We are going to work carefully so that we don't skip the point where the other handle is to be worked. I think the size of the handle that we have worked is perfect. This is the other side of the bag, and here that's the first handle, and this is the point where our second handle for the bag is to be done. Let's work the single crochet, and now I am going to continue working my chain for the handle, and the number of chain has to be 70. Actually for this bag I am working a chain of 70, as I have done that for the other side as well. Now that's how our handle is looking right now, and into the point where our handle is to be attached, we are going to attach it. Measurements have to be taken properly. Now that's the point where our handle is to be attached. So let us work a single crochet right into the chain, and so both my handles for the bag is done. Now let us continue working single crochet again. Single crochet into each of the chain spaces. Please watch carefully, because we are not going to work single crochet all around. We are just going to work till the point where our handle has started. Let's work the single crochet. Now for this bag I have used a thicker yarn, so I have used number 10 hook. It's a colorful bag. You can increase the size of your bag. Now please watch carefully. I am quite close to the point where the handles have been started. Working my single crochet into the chain spaces. Now that's the handle. Working my final single crochet. Now we'll start working into the chains. Now that's the chain. Now that is how we are going to work. Into each of the chain space of the handle, we are going to work a single crochet. That's our first handle. Into each chain, we are going to work single crochet. Very carefully, we are going to work this particular step because we are working on a delicate string of chains. Let's work carefully. So here we are working our single crochet into each of the chain, and we are going to continue working in the similar fashion till we reach the other side or the other end of the handle. This is the first handle that I am working, and I am nearing the completion point. That's our first single crochet. After this, it is very easy. We are just going to continue working single crochet into each of the chain spaces. So my very first handle is done. Now we are going to work single crochet till we reach the starting point of the other handle. Actually, once you start working, you will understand where we need to work and where we need to stop. So I have reached the starting point of my second handle, and here I have started working into the chain of my second handle for the bag. This step has to be done carefully, as I told you earlier too. So let's continue working our single crochet into each of the chain space. Now if you wish to work the handle which is of thicker size, that is required if we have a bigger bag, then you can increase the number of rounds of single crochet. Then automatically your handle for the bag is going to get thicker. So here I am almost at the end and still working my single crochet into individual chain spaces. As my bag is small in size, so I will not increase the number of rounds for the bag, basically for the handle. But if you are working a bag which is of a bigger size, then we need to work a few rounds of single crochet more so that the handles become sturdy and it looks good on the bag. Now that's our handle. As I told you, you can make it thicker as well. It is up to you. You can choose how your bag is to look. So finally both the handles are done and my cute little bag is almost ready. This is a beautiful bag. It is going to hold the mobile, the purse, and a few extra items. If you wish to make a bigger bag, you can increase the number of chains that we started in the beginning of the project. Now tucking my loose end with the help of the tapestry needle. You can use all the possible colored yarns that you have, but as it is a bag, it will be better if you use the cotton yarn or a yarn of thicker size. So this is how it looks. My cute little bag is done. I hope you all liked it, and do try this bag, and I'm sure you're going to love it too. So thank you my friends for staying till the end. If you all have liked the video, do give a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family members. If you are new to our channel, do consider subscribing and stay tuned for interesting videos. So till we meet again, be safe, be happy, and it's bye for today. Bye.